Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Crystal. It's 7:30 in the evening of Wednesday. It's Wednesday today, so it's Wednesday evening. So I've just come back from taking Max for a walk and it was a bit stressful to start with. So basically, I take my dog out for a walk between 7 and 8 usually. Sometimes it's earlier. Right, Max. So I started getting ready, and then I looked out the window to see how dark it was and if I needed my torch, and I thought yeah, and I wasn't sure if I charged my torch up or not enough. So I thought, right, it's not dark, and it's visible outside. So I looked out the window and there was kids going up and down the road on a scooter with a bright light on it. And anybody that gets headaches like myself knows that if you get heavy lights in your face, it can cause you to get a headache. Or, bright fluorescent lights like car headlights or a bright torch in your eyes can cause you to go like blind for 3 seconds. Blind you like. So I thought, right, shall I go out or shan't I? Because, I do suffer from headaches. So I thought, yeah, fuck it. So I grabbed my torch, get my coat on, I put my beanie hat on. I'll show you my beanie hat as my coat with the hood is there. So it's always in the evening that it gets busy around here. So this morning it was quiet when I was outside. No one was being stupid, no one was being silly. It was quiet in the afternoon. It was dead quiet, apart from one woman with a chihuahua like mine. It was just quiet. And then I told you, when the kids come home from school and people come home from walk, it gets bloody noisy. I'm at home all day. I'm suffering really bad with heartburn at the moment. It's like it gets trapped underneath my ribs. I call that acid reflux. It's very painful. Acidic food. A lot of foods bring on heartburn. Chocolate. Acidic foods. Acid, like orange juice, juices, things like that. So I've got to be careful what I eat. I take omeprazole, which my doctor prescribes a while back. So before I went out, I had this message from my doctor's surgery. After 6 in the evening, makes you wonder what they're up to. One of my doctors was a black doctor and he was called Reginald. Reg. Black guy. Very nice, young black man. Black doctor. He was called Reg. And I saw him a couple of times and he used to say, he said he liked my white baseball cap. I've had some doctors. I've had a doctor called Dr. Hassan Twins. And, all the way down the line, the doctors and the dentists that I've received on the NHS have not been very good. So apart from going private, which you can't if you haven't got a lot of money to do, you're fucked, basically. So I've got the NHS app, and it notified me I had a message. I thought, what's the doctors texting me at night for? And I read it. All through the day I get messages. Crystal, are you well? Crystal, how are you doing? Are you well? Are you okay? Just weird messages like, how are you feeling? How you doing? And then this doctor surgery texts me mine and says, it's a PDF. Download a PDF. Now, my mother, Jennifer, hasn't got a mobile phone. She hasn't got a mobile. This used to happen to my dad, and he had serious heart issues, and they would text him and tell him to do this and do that and do that. I've already been told 111 is shit. 111 is shit. Well, I know, I've known that from the very beginning when it started. I've known that. There's not a lot you can do, is there? If you go to A&E, there's long waits. So, you know, you just, for me, I try and help myself before I call a doctor anyway. And if the pain's unbearable and I need help, then I'll get in touch with the doctor, but it's got to be quite unbearable. And when I twisted my ankle, that was terrible. I could hardly walk. The neck was bad, but I've just persevered with that. I put hot water bottles on it and led with a hot water bottle under my neck, and eventually the pain went away. I think it's a lot to do with acid reflux, and acid reflux can cause gout, acidic food. So a lot of my problem is acid reflux and digestive problems, which is causing pain under the ribs, and it can cause pain in the legs. Gout is very painful as well, which is another thing that's caused by food, acidic food. So I read it's how to deal with coughs in the winter season. Coughs, COUGH, that was sent to me, right? On my last video, you may have noticed that I was choking, or I felt like I was choking. I was choking on regurgitated food. I've got acid indigestion and heartburn. So on the last video, I was coughing up undigested food. And I get this message from the doctors, how to deal with a cough. What causes a cough, a COUGH. So very funny. I know it's acid indigestion and I know how to deal with it. You either chew a couple of Gaviscon. I took a omeprazole tablet this morning, and this started again, see. Right. So I just find it a coincidence that I'm choking on undigested food, and I get a message at 6. How to deal with coughs, what causes coughs, sites to go to if you think it's coronavirus. Mine's acid indigestion, so it's no use to me. So they're really strapped for cash. They're strapped for doctors. They are telling people basically to take care of yourself. Don't call the doctor. Go online, see what information you can get. Do you know it? You know, years ago they told you don't medicate yourself. Don't Google things, because you imagine all sorts of things what you've got wrong with you and go to the doctor and get it sorted out. Now they're telling you to go to the chemist, look online. Don't go to the doctors, try and sort it out yourself, right? What is this world coming to? What, I mean, so I got that before I went out this evening. And I told you, a lot of my doctors have been foreign, they've been black, they've been Asian. And I've had very nasty experiences with several doctors, and it's like, again, I've told you, my life seems like a soap opera. I go into the co-op, they do stupid things in there, they block my way, I can't get out of the door, they keep laughing and being stupid, and the doctors is the same. the same, and it was the same for my father when he used to sit in the waiting room. My father, Derek's dead now, has been dead for some time. So basically, I went out after that message about coughing. Ha ha ha, very funny. Acid reflux is horrible. It burns and it makes you feel horrible, and you know it's nasty. It's nothing to laugh at. If anyone that's experienced very, very severe heartburn, I know that it's not nothing to laugh at. It's fucking painful. So I read that message. Then I got ready to take Max out, and then I, went down the stairs with my beanie hat on and my coat with the hood, and I've got my boots on as well. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why would someone actually want you to come to harm and try and harm you? Actually shining lights in your face and trying to just not give you any help at all. And that's been the same since I was a child as well. I cut my finger on a razor blade. I've still got the scar. It's about 7 years old. And I nearly cut my finger in half with a razor blade. Someone had left a razor blade in the garden where I was playing, and I was about 7. No one took me to the hospital. It was hanging off. The scar's right there from when I was 7, where like the skin flap was hanging off. Just put plaster on it basically. And also there was laburnum in the garden of Bishopsthorpe Road in London. Laburnum is poisonous. It's the yellow flowers on the laburnum tree are poisonous. This has been going on since I was a child. My nan and granddad had a holly tree with berries. I'm sure the berries of the holly tree are poisonous. Yeah, so I went outside, and you've got people running away from me. Like I told you, it's like the evening walk is the worst, because I go out and you've got women running away from me like I'm some scary person. Running. They've put man on my Amazon parcel. Man. I'm not a man. I'm a woman. And I'm not bald. And I wouldn't say I was like, well, hideous. So I got myself onto the field, and there was a guy fishing at the top of the field, and there was a couple of people coming off the field, and then I was completely on my own, walking in the dark with the torch on. Right? I do everything by myself. When I got married, I didn't think I was going to be divorced. I wanted to live happily ever after and watch my children grow up, watch them go to school. But that didn't happen for me, and I found myself on my own. It's hard. I'm not lonely. I keep myself busy. I've got my dog and my cat. I get pissed off at people's rudeness and people treating me like I'm some kind of dog shit or something they can crap on. But I wouldn't say people are scared of me, no. They laugh at me. I told you I go into the co-op. I mean, if people were scared of me, they wouldn't laugh, would they? They wouldn't find what I'm going through funny. 2 things that appeared on my phone news-wise. One that a woman was allegedly raped in the toilets of Sheerness. A female was raped in the toilets of Sheerness. It's next door's dog. Of course, I've just lost my train of thought. So, yeah, a woman was raped in the toilets of Sheerness, allegedly. Don't quote me on that, but it came up on my phone. I don't know what all the details are there. There was something else, and it'll probably come to my mind later, and I'll probably remember it later on. Yeah, I've had a quiet walk on the field. The coughing, yeah, somebody coughed. Yeah, that was it. The fisherman was fishing with his rod, and then as I was going that way past the fisherman, there was a bloke coming this way, and he went, Puh! I don't have a cough, as in I've got a cold. I cough, I get a hoarse voice because I suffer from acid reflux. I don't smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I don't do drugs. I do like my food, and unfortunately at the moment I'm struggling to eat it. And that's what acid reflux does as well. It makes it hard for you to eat because everything comes up and it burns you. So I'm just taking omeprazole and on and off Gaviscon tablets. Oh, and when I came back into my flats, the woman next door was laughing behind her door. Just heard a female voice laughing. It doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, right, if that's all they've got to do in their sad, sorry lives is to sit and wait for me to come home and go, this pathetic. All I've smelt all day is food, burning food that's been overcooked and overdone. And it makes you feel sick. I told you, it makes you feel nauseous. It's also a tactic. Laughing at somebody is going to provoke somebody's anger, isn't it? If you laugh at someone, it makes them, what you laughing at? Just causing trouble, because there's nothing. I sit in my flat, I'm learning Polish. I had to go at a crossword today for the first time in ages. And you know, there's nothing. So they've got to try and turn me, a soft, vulnerable woman, into someone angry and aggressive, and it's not happening. Oh, that was it. The vulnerable woman. She suffered from schizophrenia, and they 3 years after her death. 3 years after her death, they found this woman's bones. 3 years after her death. So she wasn't even cremated or buried. Vulnerable woman's bones discovered in her flat 3 years after. She supposedly went missing. Red flags, they didn't. She had schizophrenia. She was vulnerable. Loads of red flags. No one picked up on them. She died alone in a flat. They turned her electricity off because she hadn't paid the bills. No one bothered to go into the flat and see if she was alive or dead. So 3 years after this young lady's death, they discovered her bones. I've read that. Oh, and someone died after complaining. So, you know, just scaremongering. Someone apparently has died after complaining about something. So it puts people off complaining, doesn't it? Puts people off complaining. Scaremongering people, frightening them, getting people to self-medicate rather than see a doctor as well, which is bad. Bad. Only the strong will survive. Only the very strong will survive. In the future. See you later.